as a writer.
Oh, all right.
And
Flash of doubt.
yes.
And of course, remember, what is doubt?
Is trusting and in
Yes, trusting in, a
some-
100% trust in
what I don't want.
what a definition that doesn't work for you.
Right. A definition that doesn't work.
All
for me.
right.
And I realized that even though some of my material had been rejected or passed on by this company, that had
Yes.
no effect on who I was, and that I'm very proud of my work.
All right.
And it just meant to me that some other company was the one that it was meant to go with. for the
Perhaps.
different other ones.
Perhaps.
And I was curious. I know that that predictions are only of the moment, and
Yes.
that they are likely to change.
Yes.
And I had a psychic reading back in February, and I was
Yes.
wondering if you were able to give me an accuracy of the percent of that reading as it stands at this moment.
Is it still February?
No, I mean,
Then
obviously.
0.
Okay. Okay.
Every moment you create your reality anew. It is that understanding you really need to have in order to understand why the answer is 0.
Then, understanding that readings or predictions change moment to moment.
Yes.
Is there any way you can give me a reading of where I am at this moment?
You are 100% whatever you are deciding to be.
Mm-hmm.
What are you deciding to be? That's the question. Mm-hmm. What other reading can I give you other than your assessment of yourself in clear, honest self-communication? You tell me who you are right now. You don't have to literally do it. It is rhetorical to some degree, but that is the point. I cannot give you a reading of where you are, since you are infinity. Where can I say you are on a line that is infinite, except always where you are? Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
This may seem cryptic, may seem poetic, may seem philosophical, but it is also quite literal. You are, in some senses, giving away the power by asking me to make the assessment for you in the same way that you gave yourself an opportunity to experience how you had given away your power in terms of reacting to what other people think of who and what you do and who and what you are. Make sense?
Yeah.
So, remember, it isn't even about the idea that it's meant to be in another company. It is about the idea of doing what you do because that's what you love to do. And allowing your reality to reflect it to you in whatever way, shape, or form is representative of the path of least resistance of simply allowing you to be who you are without the idea that it must do this or it must do that. You do what you do because that's what you love to do.
Well, I do it and I love it, but at the same time, I would like to be supported by it.
Yes. You will be supported by it when you do it only because you love it. If you do it because you love it, but because you also need to be supported by it, it cannot support you because you need it to. If you do it because you love it, because it's who you are, and follow your excitement at any given moment, then whatever it is your excitement leads you to will in some way, shape, or form support you. But you must let go of your idea of what support is supposed to mean. You must relax your conditions on what support is supposed to look like. Otherwise, you cannot receive support as it may actually come. You may not see support for what it is, because you think it has to look a certain way and wear a certain suit. And thus, you cannot necessarily recognize real support when it happens. Sometimes, for example, in a sense that someone may not want to participate in something you have done can be a form of support. Because they are supporting you moving in the direction that is actually representative of who you actually are. Supporting what you have deemed yourself to be. What you have defined yourself to be. So in that sense, it is support. But if it is a certain type of support you're looking for, a certain expectation of support, then you will not allow yourself to recognize support is already with you all the time. Because the only support any of you actually need is the support to be yourself. Period. No matter how that may come. So, of course, yes, be persistent, persevere, but not in the sense of struggle. The idea, again, at any given moment is to simply make the assessment, am I doing what I really, really, really love to do? Not because of what you think it will get you. Not because of what you think it must do to support you. Simply, do I have any other choice? Is there anything else I would rather be doing? If the answer is no, then just keep doing whatever it is you find most exciting for its own sake. And let your reality guide you without expectation. Do not disappoint yourself from the driver's seat. Reappoint yourself and stay there, no matter what anyone else decides. Do you understand?
Yes.
Is this helping you?
It is, thanks.
Yes.
Hi, Bashar.
Hi.
Okay, I wanted to ask you, is that little face on the wall in my bedroom an alien?
Define it and describe it.
It has, well, the face looks just like, I don't know the name of, I don't know if it's the grays or the hybrids, with the big eyes and the little nose.
In what way does this face appear to you? In what manner do you perceive this? What is the nature of the manifestation? Is what we are asking.
Well, like, it seems like something's watching me or just observing me.
Yes. When you say the face on my wall, you are talking about
in the
a
bedroom.
phenomenology that is not always there, or something that is always there?
Well, it's
Part
always
of the
been,
wall or an energy perception?
it's a part of the wall.
Physiologically.
Yes.
Then in that sense, you can understand that as part of the wall, it cannot be what you would call an actual alien.
Okay.
Nevertheless, it may be that it is triggering in you memories of actual encounters and experiences.
Wow.
Do you understand?
Yes. Because I just noticed it was there just the other day, so I mean, I don't know.
That is simply an indication that your mind is now capable of, shall we say in your language, wrapping itself around more conscious awareness and remembrance of experiences that you are having, and therefore it is allowing itself to see in the patterns in your wall something that will remind you that you've had these encounters.
Wow.
You understand?
Yes. Okay. My second question has to do with the very first channeling experience that I sat in on. The next day, I got a really, really dizzy spell.
Yes. This is common. As
Wow.
individuals will allow themselves to open up new energy centers, allow more energy through themselves, sometimes it will literally have the experience of being disorienting. Because you are not used to handling that level of energy, it does literally disorient you momentarily until you get used to it and reconnect to your new orientation. This is a very common symptomology of new energy flow, of awakening to new levels of awareness and consciousness. Don't worry about it.
Okay, which it lasted 2 weeks, so that's why I was really
It is still a
concerned.
common symptom.
Yeah.
Sometimes in your world it takes time to get used to new levels of energy.
And then at times I felt like I was vibrating on like a pulsation type.
Yes, this is what we are saying. You are upgrading your energy frequency.
Wow.
You are allowing yourself to be operating on a higher level, a higher pitch, so to speak. And that can be disorienting to the way that you are used to perceiving your reality and yourself until you get used to it.
I see. I'm just trying to catch up with myself.
You're not trying, you are.
Okay.
But yes, in your reality, again, because you think as a society in terms of polarity and dichotomy, then you create a difference, yes, between the idea of the old self and the new self. And that difference you create is what creates the disorientation for however long that lasts. You follow? So yes, euphemistically, yes, you are trying to catch up to yourself, but only because your society teaches you that you have two different selves and that one needs to catch up.
Okay.
This is just a projected idea, but because you think of it as a real reality, you experience the consequences of thinking of yourself in that way, as an old and a new self that needs to be caught up to.
Okay.
The more you think of yourself holistically, the more you are willing to change instantaneously, and trusting that all those things are a part of you, the less difference you will create within the idea of yourself, and the less often you will experience that kind of disorientation. You will simply then experience it as revelation, inspiration, instantaneous recognition that you've made a shift. But there'll be no disorientation. There will only be elation. You follow?
Yes.
And?
That's great. And what?
Anything else?
Yes.
And?
Okay. Third question is, that last relationship that I had with my ex-boyfriend, was that remote viewing he was doing? Because he seemed to know everything that was going on in my life, whether he was physically present or not.
This is not so much exactly the idea of remote viewing, although there is an aspect of that there. Okay. Anytime any individuals are connected in vibration, anytime they are, as you would say in your language, on a similar wavelength, you understand? Mm-hmm. Then you will create the same understanding at the same time. You will have the same kind of thoughts at the same time. And that can act as a methodology for allowing one individual to know what another individual is experiencing at that moment. Because you are operating on the same wavelength. It's simply called resonance identification. And in a sense, that is to some degree the secret to remote viewing, in that you have to resonantly identify to some degree with whatever it is you need to see in order to be able to see it. Because what you're doing is creating your version of that image and that experience within your own energy by identifying with it strongly enough to match the frequency of that person, place, thing, location, or what have you.
I didn't feel like I was doing it with him, though.
So, that doesn't mean he can't do it with you. Mm. He can identify with you, even though you may not necessarily reciprocate. You understand?
Yeah.
It all has to do with intention and focus and an array of other ideas emotionally. Nevertheless, in a sense, it is like unto the idea of, or can be said to be, a form of remote viewing, but it is not so much viewing as it really is simply junctioning, resonance identification, telepathic bonding, in a sense. You follow?
Yes.
Simply matching someone's frequency in the same way that you match the frequency of a program on your TV set, and therefore that's the program you see because that is the channel you have tuned to.
Okay. I get
Does that make sense to you? Then?
Yes, it does.
Does that help you?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I was going to a gathering, and I grabbed a large clear crystal in my hand and held it above my head.
Yes.
And made a very powerful statement, and the day just went swimmingly. And I'm just wondering, I know you're going to say I am using the crystal properly because that's what I decided to do, but
do you have any hints? Telling us.
Do you have any hints for me as to how I might enhance what I'm doing?
Yes. Don't ask.
Okay.
Just tell.
Okay.
What you know to be true.
I want to tell you something else.
Yes.
About a year or so ago, I was playing around, having a good time with some sticks and making what I call dream walker kind of sticks.
Sticks.
And I
yes.
put a great purple crystal in the top of one just
yes.
because I thought it was really pretty, and I had
yes.
fun doing this.
Yes.
Well, then recently I've read that I don't know, Atlantis or Lemurian
yes,
or
yes,
some,
Atlantis. It is a recollection of things that you were doing in Atlantean times, so to speak, yes.
Can I do it again with this object, or do I need a different kind of crystal?
You can utilize it to a similar degree and in a similar fashion. It will never be the same because the energy of your world is not the same. Oh. But you can, to some degree, utilize it as a trigger or reflective mechanism to put you in touch with vibrations that will, for, shall we say, lack of a better term, have the same general effect in your reality based on who you chose to be now. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, I believe it's very valuable, and I'll enjoy using that.
Oh,
Thank
right.
you. In an area in, I believe it's Arizona, some time ago, I was driving around, and I decided that this red cinder cone mountain was most intriguing to me because most lava is dark, and this is red. I think it's in the Flagstaff area, as I remember. And I was going up this mountain road, and all of a sudden I just had this terrible fear, kind of like in that other mountain pass, and I decided I had to get out of here really fast.
Oh, all right.
And I'm wondering, my question is, when I experience that sensation, does that indicate to me that there was at some time in my life an experience that has not a pleasant memory, and that's why I'm getting that?
Oh, one.
Oh, well, I know, but I'm saying when I have that feeling, am I accurate in what I think I'm
It is
perceiving?
not always indicative of an unpleasant experience, no. It can be, in your terms, a recollection of something that you find or label unpleasant. At the same time, it can simply be that you allow yourself to recognize that the particular frequency of energy that symbolizes may be something that is simply, in some way, shape, or form, out of kilter or out of alignment with your own frequency, or actually the reverse. Sometimes something will give off a certain frequency, and because you are out of alignment with it or with yourself, it will amplify the misalignment within you and allow you to have exactly the same kind of feeling, regardless of whether any memory of any so-called incident is attached to it or not.
So that could be powerful in telling me that I'm not in alignment with
It can be for a number
myself.
of different reasons, and it's up to your discernment to use it as a tool to meditate on it and see what you get with regard to these ideas or any other idea that might crop up in your imagination as to what that feeling might be from. Always assume that there might be more than one way that that feeling can be generated. And you will then, in those circumstances, allow your imagination to guide you in looking at all the possible ways that such a thing might have come about. And that will give you more insight into all the different aspects and facets of your consciousness. You follow?
That's really valuable. I thank you.
Because I will again remind each and every one of you that in all likelihood, you will find, relative to the time period you are occupying now in your history, almost anything will in some way, shape, or form at some time have happened to you. You follow?
I do.
So you can really use these things very multidimensionally in a number of different ways to see many different sides of yourself instead of simply assuming that it only has one causative angle.
Okay.
Follow?
Yes. Then that sort of knocks out my next question.
Why, thank you.
Okay. Well,
Then thank you.
thank you for a wonderful time.
You! Good day.
Good day, Bashar.
You are number 2. Male, you know who you are. Male. Yes. There.
Hello,
Good day.
Bashar. My question is in regards to remote viewing.
Yes.
Could you describe in detail how remote viewing works?
Did I not just do that a moment ago?
Not to my satisfaction,
Oh,
no.
all right.
Also, can you tell me if remote viewing will eventually or shortly evolve to be used effectively without the use of the written protocols?
Second question first. Yes.
Shortly, I feel within the next 2 decades when...
Oh, absolutely, yes.
Okay.
And also, of course, do understand that there are individuals on your planet now, and have been individuals in your past, that instinctively understand remote viewing and do not need any kind of protocol. They simply go right into it.
Okay, it would also still be termed remote viewing as opposed to the protocols designed by the U.S. military.
Ultimately, the idea will, again, more simply be understood as viewing, as, again, identification, as junctioning. There will be many different ideas that all say the same thing. And again, to go into a little bit more detailed explanation, there is a paradox to this. The paradox is that the reason remote viewing works is because there's no such thing as anything that's actually remote. Everything is one. Everything is here. Everything is now. The idea, holographically, is that if you can, as we had said a moment ago, junction or identify with a particular frequency that is representative of a place, time, person, or what have you, since everything is based on frequency of energy, even location, you can then understand that that location, in essence, not to confuse your language, is actually not over there, but here, just like everything is. And so by identifying with it, you allow yourself to some degree to participate in it here, because it is here. You allow yourself to experience that location within yourself. It is not actually remote viewing. It is viewing from another angle here and now by identifying with it so strongly, by picking up on the correct frequency so accurately, that you call forth from the collective now that particular angle, that particular perspective, that particular experience, and can then reproject it as if it were actually over there, but you know it really is not. That's a little bit more of an explanation. Does that make sense to you so far?
Yes, it does.
Does that help illuminate the idea a little bit more clearly for you then?
More so today than yesterday.
Oh, all right. Is
Also,
there any other aspect of this you wish further clarification on?
just could you tell us a few remote viewers from our past? Name a few names that were actually remote viewing as we know it today. Unlike
Jesus, Buddha, Krishna, Wovoka, many, many others that you would call ascended masters, even many indigenous people, naturally, can, in your terms, remote view, what you call shamans. Sometimes it is very natural for many children to simply do this instinctively because they have not yet been taught how not to, because they instinctively know everything is here and now and one. Everything in that sense is real to them, therefore it's very natural for them. You will find, if you will take the time, I'm not saying you have to do this, but if you will generically take the time, any of you, to do your research, you will find constantly that your adults are, shall we say, knocking down the idea of what children say they see, of what they experience, that are, in your terms, at a distance. Also, any individual under certain circumstances and conditions, such as that which requires great overwhelming need or desire, will instantaneously, spontaneously remote view, such as cases where you know that a mother instantaneously knows that her child is in danger many miles away. You follow?
yes.
These kinds of things are simply trigger mechanisms. These states of being are simply trigger mechanisms that allow you, in a sense, to get out of your way in terms of creating the reflective structure of physical reality illusion and allow yourself to collapse that whole thing into the true here and now and simply see and experience only that aspect in totality that is germane to the frequency you happen to be on at that moment. This is the very fundamental underpinnings of all such things as telepathy, remote viewing, psychic functioning, what have you. It's all basically stemming from the same thing, and that is resonance identification. Because space and time are just concepts that are only different by the frequency they exhibit. Location is not really over there. Location is a frequency idea. An object doesn't actually exist in a particular location literally. Location is one of the properties of the object. One of the properties of the equation, the vibrational equation that you translate in physical reality terms as an object over there. But that's just an equational projection in the same way that you have a reflection in a glass mirror. You know, in a sense, the reflection is not really over there, because the reason you see it is because all the light's coming back to you here. It's not really over there. There's nothing in the mirror. The mirror holds on to none of the light, and that's why you see the reflection, which is actually here. Make sense?
Yes, so. Yes, it does. Thank you very much.
Does that help you?
Yes.